this is it. It's gonna be fun. Cow with attitude. That's basically it, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what we're looking for. We usually just see regular cows. So something different. It's always going to be a little bit fun. Let's just gotta set this up a second.
Recording in progress.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Let's come back. So Cindy's here. We're still waiting on a few other people to show up.
congratulations on all your awards and everything. I don't know if we can know you anymore. You're too famous.
I tell you, it's just like you find this one little niche and you just got to keep mining it till it runs out. That's all it is. It's just kind of getting lucky with finding something I kind of, got everything kind of works for me in one little in these dogs things. So yeah, it's fun. I'll take it. You got to take it when you get it. That's the thing is, it doesn't come around very often. So if you don't jump on it and believe in it, you'll just, you'll be painting everything.
Yeah,
so it just really,
fabulous.
It helps me narrow my field a lot. And so anyway.
But the nice thing is that you don't just do that. Like I have a friend who started painting big flowers. That's all she paints now is big flowers. I mean, it's kind of nice to do other things too.
Oh yeah, that's why I like teaching with you guys and stuff too, because I'm always I'm learning along with you guys because
each one of these from us, let's face it.
Yeah, I just don't know what we're gonna be painting till the last second, and then I'm trying to figure out how to paint it, and so it's kind of fun to just go through the process with you guys, telling you what I'm thinking, and it kind of helps out. It kind of what it does is solidify things in my mind too a little bit as I paint. So
well, you should be very proud of yourself with your testimonials you got from your students.
Wow. Thank you. Yes, thank you for putting that in there and stuff for me too.
Well, I mean, it's like everybody loves you. That's for sure. It's great.
Yeah, they're all fake. They're all fake. No, you know that.
They're not fake.
No.
No, I love you guys. You guys are just like we're basically all friends here, and I'm not afraid to say things that make me embarrassed a lot because I've gotten past that. So hey, yeah, I do appreciate you guys helping out, because I was getting a couple people just said at my last workshop, this thing should be filled, and you just need more testimonials. People don't know you. And I go, yeah, they don't. No one knows. And that's okay. I'm not a big pushy person. I am big, but I'm not pushy. So we'll go with that. But I think we'll just get going here. This is going to be one of those ones. It's a little strange because of we're taking an animal that everybody sees as big friendly cows and things. This is probably more of a bull anyway, than not really a cow.
Cow is this? This is not your typical cow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's aged. I think it's a guy for some reason. I think it's a male. It's a male cow, so it's probably a bull they used. And he's got attitude. That's the thing I loved about him, is the attitude and warmth about it. I got this off of just our Facebook paint artist reference thing, for artists. And I picked it out probably last year or something like that, and just because I looked at it and goes, wow, that hits me with something. It hits me with something. So I go, yeah, that's what I want. I want something that hits you with something, a feeling of some, something I can work with. And that's what I kind of, thought the attitude had such a impressive feel to it. And I thought that'd be great to paint because, whatever you do, you could really get into it. And that's the thing, is getting into it. It's not mine, it's not yours, but it's something that we all can work on and probably get something out of.
Mhm.
So here, let me pull it up and we'll go through it.
So Jim, are all male cows bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, unless when they get fixed, but yeah, he's a big old boy. He was a bull too. I kind of cut that off. I mean, they didn't give you the full bull anyway, so I just decided to make less bull out of it, and just because it's all about the lighting and the face. I think the lighting was just really spectacular on that head, and it gives usually faces like this, that strong, that kind of light coming in there usually burns out the face like that. I mean, it's usually, you don't see any color in there and you have to make it up. This one, we get to see some color. You can see the browns and you see the pinks and you see the yellows. And, you're still going to have a lot of sky color. I'm sure they probably enhanced this with some, some filters. Because just because of the color, the way the color is, I mean, the sky's just a little, warm. It could nothing major, but that's what I'm looking at right there. But it will help do all the fur and stuff on him. He does have a lot of long fur. It seems like, at least on his face, I just never usually see too much hair coming off ears like that. Usually it seems like they're very clean and stuff. So I wonder if it's a winter thing here. I mean, you'd think it were spring, early spring, because the grass is still dead. That probably could be it too. So a lot of things about these. Got the things I like about this guy. Let me pull this back up. I'm going back and forth here. Just save it right there for a second. Again, the lighting's great. And you can see reflections in his face. I mean, wet things like his nose and right around his eye. The nose here, you can see the reflection of the sky in the tip of his nose, where anything that's wet, anything that has a little moisture on it like that, it's going to reflect a little bit of color. So knowing that reflection there is going to be blue, have this a lot of sky in it. Even underneath his eye, that little wetness right around the tip of the eyelid, have a little sky in that color because it's going to be reflecting that. So knowing those little things really kind of add to these paintings. But otherwise, I just like the design too. I thought it was I want to have fun with the design. I don't want to do, a regular cow because he had so much attitude. He needs to have a design that will kind of accommodate that. And that's where I just kind of trimmed it in and I started playing with it. And I came up with this cropping. But there are other croppings if you want. You could do a square cropping and just do the head would be fine too. Sometimes a really big one just with not much, that's really full attitude if you want to just do the head. Another one was just a little bit, more just neck and head, kind of unique, really weird. So that's what I was thinking, there's our few different crops you could still do to this thing if you want to take it upon yourselves to do them. That's fine. You don't have to paint the full thing. One of the things, yeah, you have this big white head, but you have this, all right, you have this. Where's my? Sorry, one thing I turned on the wrong thing here. Then you have this big, huge shadow around his head, pushing his head forward, and then sandwiching it in between a little ear, and you still got the nose. So you're squishing that white area together, and it makes a nice pinching feel to the painting, and it just design wise, and it will help it really easy focus. Kind of makes it an easy focus. In that shadow, we can do a lot of things in the shadow, but basically this shadow is going to keep it really kind of simple for us today, shape wise, color in there. Yeah, it's just pretty much dark. It's going to be one of the darkest things on the painting. Pretty much dark, maybe just a hint of light in there. That's the cool thing, is just a hint of light. And you can barely see those lights in here, just around here. Maybe this right here behind the jaw. Let me clean that one for you. Right in here, there's just a hair of a light. And that could be his jaw. It's just, I think it's on this side. But that's what I would be looking for. The nose the same way. It's going to be pretty dark, but then we're going to come back with, mixes probably of the sky in there, and just, hit that tip of the nose, hit the tip right underneath the nostril, that kind of little stuff. Really just brings these guys to life. So that's it. So you got the darks, this, I would say one of the things to watch for is right here. This is a little spot that's going to come forward, because it's just like if you were painting trees and you got sky holes. This is basically what you consider almost a sky hole, because it's surrounded by dark colors, and it's a light. It's catching light, so it's just popping forward, and it pops forward just a hair too much. I would say, stay in this realm here for that. And yeah, you could bring this area out a little bit, but really this is where I would keep it, because if we tone this area down, the focus is going to be on the face. This isn't going to be too much of a distraction, which is always just little teeny things. And this back here too, just, don't even worry about it. That little shot of white back there, don't need it. It does make a nice arc back there, but it does not, should not be considered. It has to be, out of mind, I think. Background too, pretty simple. It's pretty all blurred out, so there's not much for us to force the focus on, which is good, because that keeps us right on the cow the whole time. Let me see here. I think that's his face. Yeah, he has that. The nice thing about him is his fur or hair and stuff. You can just see. This is how you do it. Follow these brush strokes. Follow the fur will tell you where the brush strokes have to go, which direction they have to go. You can just see it on the face. These things, just, it's pretty simple. We got stuff that says this way, this way, this way. Just tells you everywhere which way you have to go with a brush stroke. Doesn't mean you can't go against the grain, but you're still following the basic thing. If you do it like that, it's going to work out. You're always going to end up with what they call cowlicks, right? Where where you're going to get a couple little places where the fur just kind of bumps into each other like that and grazes out of there. And that's, that's what you'll be looking for. Little areas that are going to happen. And those guys, if you do it right with these brush strokes stuff, they will just make themselves. Yeah, you're going to have to, realize it and probably change some color right when it happens. But, it will happen real kind of naturally. And that's what I'm always looking for in my paintings, is making sure it's feeling like it's more natural than anything else. Okay, let's go value wise, color wise. Yeah, his face is definitely brightest things, but I would say ones are probably even going to be on the high end. It's probably more twos for this thing. So let's go with kind of make twos for these highlights, everything else. And then you see these reddish oranges here in the middle and stuff. You can definitely get down to the 3s and 4s with that. And then the side of his face, best leave 5s, maybe 6s. Like we said here, this is going to be like 8s and 9s. And then even in this stuff, it's probably going to be 8s, at least 8s, for that value. So probably 9. Pretty much, we're going to see how dark we can keep this one area. And then I'm going to paint it really dark, no white in it at all. That way, and then I'll come back with see if I can do this area pretty much without any white. Pretty easy. We all know the colors we'll be using. And then just do it with basically make the difference in that area with just simple value, not even value changes, but warmth and cool changes, which will be should be really spectacular. Nice simple thing like that, and it'll look like you worked really hard on it and you thought about it, and it will look like should work out really good. Really hold that head in place at you. Makes that head turn at you. Makes his eye look, really commands that eye. That eye is definitely the command of the painting. And it's just that little arc in it, that little arc in the highlight. I didn't say much about that, but definitely want to talk about it too. That highlight, making sure that highlight does not overwhelm us. Don't give it away. We want to just, it will jump out at us just like, sky holes and everything else, but in a bad way. We don't want to make it jump out at us. So it's just take your time on that one. Make sure you got the value right. And that's what I'm saying. And even with the hairs on the eyes, those are going to go in last, right? We're going to put those in last. This one right there, that middle one right there, that goes over the eye, over the full iris, that little strike, that's a dangerous one to put it. It's going to be a dangerous one to put in because it has to be perfect and it has to be put in like you mean it. And it's going to you could jump forward, you could go back, you could end up painting, doing that 3 or 4 times to get it right. And what we want to try and do is get it right the first time. So we know I would definitely put it in slightly darker than you think it's going to go. And then, because you can always lighten it up a little bit, and you only have to lighten up the back end of it, where it attaches to the eyelid. You don't have to lighten it up all the way down the eye. So it just, keeps everything a little simpler and cleaner and helpful. Ears are soft, a lot of softness going around here, which would be a lot of fun to paint. Okay. Any questions? Let's get going on this thing. We'll be here all day. Trish is here. Hey, Trish. Okay. Big questions. Big cow, big questions. Okay. You guys are good. I like you guys. All right. let's get this out of here.
So the head is gonna be pretty, I mean, the whole thing is gonna take up a good part of this canvas, right? It's gotta be bigger.
Yeah, yeah. I am going to be painting like a 16 by 20. Yeah, so it's going to give it some oomph. But this would be like this if you were really if I was doing gallery work. Yeah, this would be a big painting. This would probably at least a 24 by 30. You know, that kind of thing. It would even be bigger maybe because that would just like almost full size. You know, would be like wow. You could really get into that face and have some fun. But we're painting it just for an hour and a half, so let's get going. So here we go. We got a regular palette out. Colors. We got our titanium white, CAD yellow light, CAD red light. This is CAD medium out. That's been out for a while. This is CAD orange. This is supposed to be would have been ochre, but I grabbed some something else. This is some gold ochre-ish color. And this is a orange ochre. It didn't need as many ochres I did, so don't worry about these ochres. You know, this is really going to be a good color. This is our oxide red light. Alizarin crimson, or if you are a Rembrandt guy, you'd have rose madder deep here. Cobalt blue hue by Utrecht. Phthalo greens, blue shade. I do have here's some burnt sienna. I ran out of burnt sienna, and here's some oxide, transparent oxide. I want to show you those guys. This is even another oxide here. This is brown oxide, transparent brown oxide. So I'm gonna do a little demo with those guys for you. These could, you know, burnt sienna. This oxide could be burnt umber. Burnt umber is almost exactly the same thing. I don't know why. You know why do you need to use both? But same thing with these two. But some synthetics, big brush, of course. Some synthetics be nice to have in there for some type work, for, you know, carving out things. It's great for these guys. Some big bristles for a lot of the hair and stuff when you have to get in there and around his face and you put in the topping fur. These guys come in handy. So I got a nice variety of those. I even got to go down to like a 4 here on my bristle brushes. And my synthetics. And my big brush goes down here. I'll be doing 3/4 again work with that. All right. One of the things, like I was just going to mention, this is burnt sienna, because I always mention about the difference between burnt sienna and transparent oxide. And well, this is transparent oxide brown. This is transparent oxide red. This is burnt sienna. So as you can tell, this seems almost more yellow. This has a little more red in it, and this has a little, you know, definitely more of a burnt umber. So I'm going to put in just enough, you know, white in each one of these guys and see how they go. You can see the difference. So burnt sienna makes a nice kind of a, start to see the red kind of come through on that. This is transparent. And you can see this seems more red. This seems more, I mean, yellow, and this seems more red. But as soon as you add white to them, this goes pink, and this goes more yellow. So, interesting. And then you got your oxide here. the brown is like a lot, almost like a burn umber, not a huge change in it. So this is just a slight change. You got to cool, and this goes warm. So that's the whole thing. I mean, if you're painting something, you want it to go cool or warm, just figuring out either it's a burn umber or burnt sienna or transparent oxide. So I'm just going to peel these guys together. From down here, you never know what you're going to use up. This is where they don't mix. Clean it off a little bit. Okay. Nice little idea because you can see the warmth in his face. Okay, I got to get my monitor up. This has a lot of warmth in it, this photo. Okay. The darks. Definitely these darks in him. I would definitely be looking for phthalo greens and alizarins in that. That would be a lot of fun to paint. So, we're gonna mix up alizarin and phthalo green. One on the red side. That's a good mix of both of them right there. So it comes out of purple like that. And one on the green side. I'm going to leave this, add just a touch more red to this side to get it to go a little bit darker. So no white in these colors again. Trying to keep all the paint there. The other colors you're going to need pretty much our regular colors scheme. It's not like a huge thing. The big difference is going to be oxide red light. I see this in these darks here, along with these guys. That's why I'm mixing them up, because I really see these guys. These guys can be fun, and they'll be a lot of fun in the shadows of this, in this jaw and stuff, in the getting this color underneath.
What color are you mixing, Jim?
This is oxide red light or Terra Rosa or Venetian mixed with phthalo green. And I figured this is all going to, you can just see it just a little bit in here. It basically goes around some of the muscles, makes some of the muscles come out. And you can see how they kind of, you can't see it in this shot, but there's just this little line right here. And it keeps going into the shadows, and you want to attach these two together and stuff, and you do it with just a little bit of this over that, and that's all you need. Just a little bit of difference in value and warmth. So these guys are warm, these guys are cool. So you put the cools down, put the warms on top. Another one I see in here I'd like to have. Let's stop there. I'm on that one. I'm going to go with blue. And I'm going to do the same colors, same other reds, the alizarin's in this one. This is, like I always think, is one of my darkest colors, so that's why I'm putting it out, doing it. It's not in here a lot at all, really. I mean, So that one didn't, so I shouldn't be doing a huge pile, which ended up being a little bit too big. But definitely one on the reddish side, one on the blue side. These guys are good, will be good for the nostrils and for the eye itself. Maybe some of the darker colors in here we can play with, some of the coolers, just to, you know, have some fun in the darks. You know, no one can see us playing there. And if we have, you know, give them some goofy colors in there to kind of that work, that they might come back, you know, look harder in your painting. That's what I'm looking for to do. Okay, that's pretty good. A couple other colors I was looking at too, blue and a cad red. Yeah, this brown, it's red, it kind of makes a brown. And I just gotta get it a little bit stronger in the blues. A little less in the red, just not quite that red. I think I can get that. It start to be in this, be the light, a little bit of light in these areas here. That's a good red. This is just a little bit too strong. I'm gonna mix one more because I'm gonna keep this lighter red, but I need a blue version of it. So I'm just making basically threes, just a little red in this. I want to really keep it blue, but on the blue side, but just a little bit of red to get in there, to mix in there. That's what I'm hoping to get into these ears and stuff like that. Okay. Now, what we need, a few things left. We do need sky. That is definitely going to be with the blue. And what I'm going to mix in here is, see, it's warm, kind of grayed out, but it's warm. So I'm going to use oxide. We have transparent or burnt sienna mixed in with this color, but I'm going to keep it on the blue side. Well, I'm going to do two, probably just going to do this. You know, that's going to be on the blue side. And then I'm going to do one a little bit more on the oxide, transparent oxide or burnt sienna side. See how rich that gets? That's a rich color. That can get into some of these browns and things like that. That'd be beautiful. Especially when you start to get down here to values of fur and values that fall into the shadows and then come into the light. Sometimes these rich orange, reds, and browns just really make a great transition color into the light. So let me see. I think this is, hopefully this is going to turn out to be this color. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and add it in here. You can see. Yeah, I'm pretty close. You probably could go a little bit more. I'm going to take that whole pile. I don't need too much of that. We are up here. Just a little bit more oxide into it. Warm it up. Okay. I'm going to take and leave one side over here too, because I'm thinking about these shadows in the grass too. that maybe I can get away with that.
What did you just put in there? How'd you
This,
get that?
this is blue and transparent oxide. And just a little bit of transparent oxide in it. Just really kept it on the blue side. This is on the transparent oxide on the regular side without a little bit of blue. It makes a nice rich brown. Be beautiful in here. This color here is just a little bit of this bluish sky color. It's just going to be sky. And just a little more brown into it.
Okay.
Just so I got it on the brown side. So, but basically it makes a nice warm gray. And I think I can get that down in the shadows and work this. And I think that these colors here, at a really kind of up in this 3 range, values of 3s and 4s. I'm going to do a lot of nice things. Okay, another color here. Couple simple colors. You're gonna, if you have oxide, transparent oxide, just transparent oxide, just a touch of yellow in it, just a hair of yellow into it. We're gonna need that for underneath painting. Okay, so all these colors now we're gonna take and we're gonna lighten them up a little bit. Split the piles, and we'll come up with the medium tone, which we should be. Go with 7s. With these 7s. Don't need that much paint. I want to save some of these paints. Then we'll see what we need to bring out to make even lighter. All right, so 7, let's see. Oh, you can see the richness come out of that. 7, that's about 8 or 9. There we go. Okay. It's right about there. I'm gonna take all the paints about there. That might be a little rich on the green side for this point. This purple's about right. So I'm just gonna kill that by just adding purple to it. This purple to it, just graying it out a little bit so it doesn't scream too much. Hopefully, I was thinking I might be able to get it up in the sky too. Oh, okay. So I'll be using all these colors right here for the sky. With the purple too, probably. Have fun. You know, we're gonna have fun with it. That's the whole thing about this one. Trying to have a little more fun. You know, we got attitude, and that's what we're painting. So sometimes just going with colors that you think are, you know, kind of exciting. Value wise, this is going to be really nice color underneath the ground and stuff. Laid colors, these colors too. you know, we're gonna have to do find some colors that go on top, but oops, these guys really lighten up a lot. Alizarin and blue here. I'm even graying it down by not cleaning my knife, so it's not so strong. Leave that there. You never know. This is blue and cad red. I was on the cad red side. This is more in the middle. Blue and mix. That's what I was thinking about over here in some of the fur highlights. And then on the blue side, you know, for a lot of this shadow areas and stuff. When we get down in here, some of these already have white in them. These two colors here, I already added white, but I was looking at trying to get down into this area here. Just a hair more white will do it. It's okay. Make the pile bigger too. So I'll be able to gradate between this color and that color and that color, you know, to get in there. Looks like it might be a little more alizarin, so I'm taking a steel little purple and add that in there. So just grade it out just a hair. And just touch white to make up for the purple I added. Should be good. Let's see what the gray turns into. Now I'm going to start getting the whites and the fur colors. Definitely not much there. Probably down lower for that color. This is on the brown side. As you can start to see, oh man, that's beautiful. So transparent oxide with just a hair of blue in it really can be is going to come a long ways in this painting. So that's why I'm just making a little bit more paint, because I'd like to have a pile to grab when I get into this area here. Just much more white. Okay. You can start to see these values, how tight they're getting. Now this one here, this is going to probably, I'm thinking, going to do a lot of the damage in the painting. You might have to have another version of this because it's just too strong to wipe out, but that's going to be, you can start to see where that's going. I already passed up. It went a little light, but if I just use what's on my knife and do an in-between here, this is an oxide, transparent oxide in yellow, cad yellow, really on the oxide side. You can start to see how close that is. And then this one's just a little bit whiter. Okay. That should do it. Let me try one more color. Sorry. I went transparent oxide and yellow, but I'd really like to see what happens if I went on the yellow side of it. Just to have a warm up. Doesn't have to be quite that big a difference, but I'd like to have one
just that shoots out there a little bit. Maybe this could be end up being, maybe I can get it start being in some of these green. I didn't make up any greens either, so gonna need this color anyway. I want to take this pretty high key. For yellow, and just see if where it can go. Yeah, you know, not anywhere there. Let's go one more step then. Okay, we're gonna go at like 2s with this. Right about here. About a 2. And you can start to see where you can use it. It'll come in handy when you have to make things pop. When you need the areas like his brow, right above his brow to pop, or nose, stuff that will come in handy. So that's about it. I'm going to use a couple little other colors I'm going to need for high key things. Will come in handy. I'm going to go with the Cad Red and white. Just a touch of Cad Red. Going with a warm red. I think I can get in here with it, but I don't want to be too perfect. I want just a little bit of red into it. I want to help. And then, oops. I got my yellow white. I could use an orange. Let me try just a little bit of orange. Yeah. Orange and white. Take this down and get the really high key right here. This is where I was thinking about. Yeah, that's gonna Cat orange and white. Simple colors. I'll end up doing a lot of high bright stuff. Okay, I'll go through the colors real quick. This is what we're going to be using. We start off with phthalo green and the alizarans, of course. One on the green side, one on the red side. Came down. You can see if they start to turn a little more purple. Here we have phthalo green and oxide red light. Kind of a gray, warmer green when it can add white to it. Here we have blue and cobalt blue hue and alizarin. And you can see how bright and clean those guys are. Almost too clean, so I just kind of let it drift into the green a little bit and mushed it up a little bit. Here we have blue and Cad Red and Cad Red. So I did 3 colors because I wanted one on the red side, one in the middle, and then one on the blue side. And when you can see them when it came down here, just a nice kind of grayed out, cool blue, purple with these guys should work out pretty good for doing all the darks in this painting. Here we start off with just blue and transparent oxide, just a little warm yellowish red. And got this color. This has just a touch of white in it now. Going for the sky. I want to do the sky in that kind of a unique color. I'll be using also alizarin and phthalo green in that sky. But I want to get, these guys in there. We're going to be in the yeoman's work, and then you bring it all the way down to about a 3 value. 3, maybe it's 4. Might have to go a little lighter. And then over here, I just took a piece of the sky here and just added just a little oxide, transparent oxide to it. Grayed it out, made it really nice, just a universal kind of gray. Here it says it's just transparent oxide side of the blue with just a little bit of blue. And here again, you can see the warmth come through here. Definitely this color is going to be in here. It might play even higher. This might be a nice one to even take up to a high key like this, because these guys are also bright. Maybe a high key that just doesn't do much. Maybe it'll play better in the shadows. So all these guys I'd probably take up just a little bit higher. Just for I can use them. Has some work. I can put them in the shadows, or I can put them back down here a little bit lower. That's what I was saying. I might take lighter. Here I just did cad yellow light and oxide, transparent oxide together. Really on the oxide side, this is on the cad yellow side, pretty heavy on the cad yellow side, probably too far. I don't really see anything in there like that. But this one I just took down with a little bit of white. This color is going to be all over in the painting, so I'd lighten it up a little bit more. This is probably just a hair too much, too close to that, so I'm going to add just a touch more white to it, just to make sure there's at least a step. It's not not really getting anything on my palette, be like that. And even with these guys are just a hair too yellow. I really don't see them in here. The use of it in here a little bit, even in the grass and stuff. So I'm just gonna shoot them down just a little bit more oxide in here. All these colors. Not looking for that, but I'm looking for something rich. I know this makes a golden orange and stuff like that. We'll see where we can put it. I'll keep that one though. That one I might even take up higher. Never know. So, a lot of midtones in this one. So, there we go. Let's see what we can do over here. Let's see if we do some damage. Pull everything back up and we'll get going. How are you guys? Any questions on that? Colors? You guys are all good? That's good to hear. Okay, I got it up over there. I'm gonna bring you guys in as far as I can. Okay, right about there looks pretty good. Let's see if I can. Oh, the camera's rolling. All right. So a tone, definitely, like we said, warmer tone for this thing. So let's go with a warmer tone base tone. I'm going to go with burnt sienna, oxide red, transparent oxide, burnt sienna, either one, like we just said, either one. I'm going to go, yeah, I said burnt sienna. Let's go just see what I haven't done burnt sienna in a while. So, and since I have it out, I got to get rid of it. Clean oil definitely would be nice to start with. Good job there. Get rid of this stuff. Good clean oil. And there's safflower oil. Be nice medium. this. All right, big brush, big ideas, right? Big cow, big brush. A little bit of oil on my brush and color. Let's tone this thing. Definitely this color down below will probably be pretty good in the grass and turf down in here. In the background, just get a little bit of that. You might just, one of the things, you know, just getting that outside just a little bit darker in the corners. Anyway. Wipe it in. We got even the value of the pink back here pretty good. I mean, the left over from this color, tinted wise and stuff. It's always good to have, you know, when you have a value that's pretty close to that. That way you can at least judge value colors. Okay, we know about where he's going to be. Make sure his feet, you give him an inch, at least an inch for his feet at the bottom, you know, so he don't go off. Try to keep those feet on the playing field, you know. Shoulder here, get that height. For me, I'm just gonna about there. I know where that's about the height. And then get where I want them to fall. At least an inch and a half, you know, face wise. I want to give them one inch and a half. That's tight, but the tightness of it being against the edge is going to cause tension, which you're going to add to the face. So let's get that, you know, make sure you got that in there. Okay, base is, you know, start to get where he has a pretty short foot. And he has this other one coming through here. And here. This one's going to touch lower. This one's going to sit back just a hair. Okay, right in here. Okay, right in here. This is going to be about halfway between here, and, well, shoulder here, which is about right so far. Even as, you know, it does, you know, right into his ankle right here. You just see, you know, pretty broad, and then all of a sudden it got that goes in, you know, and makes, you know, right at his ankle and just shoots in real close and stuff, or makes a Here, let me clean that up, show you. You know, cuts in right at the ankle. So then thickens out again and then goes to the hoof. So like I said on that stuff, I really want to be able to push that back. So gotta stay with, want to be with, don't really want, I want to stay with under over an inch at the base bottom at least. So this coming up tells me where, you know, basically where his head's gonna go from here to here. So I can start to break out his nose. A little tighter there, angle here. Okay. We're going to try and get attitude too. So you're really that broad head here. That top of his head here, how the hair comes out of there. And the broadness of his face, you know, this is his basically where his nose is going to end up right in here. And I got to get the chin here. This chin goes up, down. It's almost all the way back here. This might be just a hair short. I'm going to measure. So this is his, where his one nostril would be, right here. His big nostril. Almost half of this square. Okay. Where this nostril is right here, this edge, I go straight up. Tells me where at least his brow is. And I just got to come back and get that angle. His other eye's way over here on this side. And him too, just like dogs and everything else. But not everything else, but here, I'm going to have to get in front of it too, because this is just getting a little wonky. Sorry, a second, let me draw it out. Okay. A little bit better. Probably this guy, I think, comes back a little bit farther. Oh, that's it. Okay. See, right here, you got this little bit of a flat right around above his brow. And it comes back and it almost twists right into that area. Look, I got goes back. It feels like it goes back just a little bit farther that way. There's no need not to put a little darkness where you think the hair is going to be. Put a little this oxide. You know, cheat it a little bit. Sometimes this helps me when I'm drawing, just to get this width here, because you know you're drawing with line. Sometimes you just need color to really kind of get the base of it more, so you can start to judge it. This is too long. This looks a little short, so. Get that right. And just pushing that thing down really made a difference. I was going to say about this right here on his brow, that little flat part right at the tip, you know, instead of it going, you know, sharp here, you know, it goes up a little bit. That right there, if you come straight across, that's where his other eye is going to be. Probably should be lining out right in there. Right in there. Here, probably a little bit more space now. Get the roundness to the ear. But that ear back in here too, make sure, even if you have to cheat it a little bit, so it breaks goes above the neck a little bit. Still helps separate some things out. This is just a little short here too. A little higher. Probably too high. Oh well. We gotta bring everything down. Something like that. I don't know this cow, so I'm not too, you know, I'm not worried about anything. I'm just gonna have some fun painting a fun cow. Getting that little bridle around his face, make sure it's flat on top here first. Gets past. I put a little marking, but it should mark. I got to move it over now. So I move the eye basically right here. And there's just from one point of the snout going up to the other side, there's just like a little triangle runs right down the middle of their heads. I mean, there's a little crease there, but then there's a little triangle on one side of the brow bone, and then this one over here too. So just a little angle, it tells you everything, and then comes back here to a point right at right where the bridle starts, right above the nose. But I'm drawing it in, but it's more to make sure the drawing's halfway there. Always bring down the muzzle a little bit more. Like I said, where I'm going to put the nose. It should split right down the middle too. Gotta get in front of that. It looks like I need to go a little wider here. That, and then there's this. Okay. So I'm working at an angle. Everything's just a little bit squishy here. Always, that's why it's always tough to do portraits in class and stuff. That's why, because I'm trying to give you guys the full visual here. So I'm forced to paint at a little bit tougher angle. So drawing it out is usually not the best, always the best, but a lot of times we'll see. Okay. Shadow wise, make sure this is what I'm gonna mark out though.
I don't think my snout is long enough.
Your snout.
Yeah, it doesn't. I look like a bulldog.
Can we take a look at it?
I just erased it.
Oh,
Let's make you a little longer.
yeah, I'm just looking at this thing too. Definitely, I've had, animals that have started off really, you think you have it, you think it's good, and then the next day you come back and you go, what the hell?
Tell me about it.
Oh my God. It's going to be that way with probably this one too. Going, oh, I feel good about it, but let's see. I just sometimes they work out something. Yeah, and if nothing else, we can always do some other checks on it. Okay. Now, like I said, this shoulder, this shadow here into his face, into this area, it's almost as wide as this area here from this light here. So I measure. Yeah, right about here. That will do it. Must be a fence going in here too because of this other shadow right here going across there and stuff. That's probably a fence or something. Post rail going through here. Okay. All right. Like I said, most of the toughest part of this is going to be drawing it out and getting it right.
Is it coming from this way? Yeah.
Going to be a little closer to that.
Forward.
Okay. I'm just going to come in here and pull out some lights again, clean it up. Where I think sometimes you just need to measure these things. Gonna need some of that brown, so I'm just wiping it in there. I'm not gonna worry about this line anymore. Get front.
Okay, well. Sort of something like that. Hopefully I can fix a lot of it. Any problems later on? I think this goes up a little higher over here. That helps broaden it out. And then just does a little more twist. More lip. Okay. Shadows, pretty good. That goes in here, comes down. Okay. Up, over. I'll know a lot more if I'm right. How right I am when I put in the shadow. So that's what we're going to start off with. Phthalo green and alizarin. I'm going to start off with the red side. So the dark, it's kind of a little more darker, and then come back with the warmer side, which is the phthalo green side. See, when you start laying it in here like this, you can start to kind of feel a little bit where things are going. And here's more square shapes and things like that. Nice thing is just we got to be within the ballpark. Yeah, on this one, that's about it. And then we'll use all the lighter colors and everything else, backgrounds, to do our final carving of this beast. Just trying to feel where that spot is. I just marked off. Also, since I'm doing this, I'm just going to mark off where his eye goes a little bit and see. A lot of times I'm just doing measuring by shape. I got the shape right. Some of the, things should come out right when I'm get down to the bottom, drawing the shape out. It should be pretty close. There will be some fudging to do, of course, but the phthalo green side. And I just put it up here. Just this shadow. This is what makes these things is this shadow bending over the beast. So it's not even this rail, the way it goes across, it has a little bit, upturn to it, and even on the bottom too. So just, look for those things. They'll help it out. I'm on a little bit too green. I'm gonna add some little alizarin to it again. That's not so potent at the back here. So green.
Trying to get it back a little bit darker in these, right in here, on the edge here. Might have to come back with some other colors to put in there. Okay. Let's see. It's a little more phthalo on the phthalo side. Almost going back just a hair too sharp. I probably shouldn't even put that one in. That was a kind of a dumb move. Because of you know, well, because now when I paint the sky, I have to paint around that a little bit, which is okay. You know, you're not going to make everything's not going to always be perfect. We're always going to be making mistakes, so I can always pull it out if I had to. I think this dark going around his leg here and coming here too, the same thing as that. It's a part of a rail. So even that, you can see how it curves around his leg. Starts to give his leg some volume. Overpaint it a little bit so you can keep it soft. I'm going to paint it on a little bit more on the red side on the very outside. So here again too. So this is just alizarin and so far alizarin and phthalo green. I'm just going to soften my colors. You can see there's a little more phthalo green at the top of it, of the guy, coming down and stuff, coming down into the shadow here. Pretty light, not just thinned it out basically. And then when you get to this shadow, you got a little bit stronger color. Again. You want to keep it really kind of dark even behind this ear. Or even into the ear. You want to go into this ear. Basically because you want that, when you put that light in there, you want that to pop. Okay. I'm gonna just put a little bit of color on his nose. And that little phthalo green alizarin into his face here underneath his shadows. Just in the back shadows. See how far I can go. Even where there's going to be white. You know, with that, just a little bit of phthalo and alizarin, mostly on one side. Just to get rid of the white. what I'm doing is now is going in and really pushing these darks in this side here. It's really alizarin and phthalo green. Small feet. I have to make them bigger. And this one, get that right. I always look at the negative areas here and judge them by that. I can tell. Oh, space this has to be. That's right. If it's fitting, how things are fitting right.
He's got some short legs on him.
Yeah, a little bit short, huh? I think I'm a little way short too. I am way too short.
Just make him longer.
No, I'm just going to take away some little bit of bulk. Just a little bit of bulk here. There we go. I look like I made his head huge too. Jesus. Oh well. That's okay. We're going to fix those. We can fix those things. We'll fix them. Definitely fix them. I'm going to put a little bit of, again, phthalo and stuff into his nose because a lot of that sky is reflecting in there, in here too. So it's really on the, going to have a little bit of, a lot of fun colors in here. This should be pretty nice when the second colors hit it and stuff like that. I think in his mouth here too, that's pretty much what's giving him the attitude. That little, you know, crease of going up in the middle and coming down on the sides. And then coming back up at the back end. Little tips there, be nice. Okay. Yeah, probably. Anyway, you can always catch this stuff. better. Yeah, he does have pretty short legs anyway. They're only like, they're pretty stumpy. It's like from here to where you get it around, it starts to go in here. It's pretty much the same width, length. I'm pretty close. Close enough. All right. So that's basically, basically when you put in this one dark, you're done with this lizard, phthalo and alizarin in here. You're pretty much there. I mean, it's, shadow wise and stuff, you want to values and stuff very dark. Now I'm going to go in with the next colors, the warmers colors, and into the shadows. And we're going to bring out a few things here. I'm catching a lot more phthalo on the back side of the shadow, and probably right here in the little bit of this area right in here, right there. We will see how that goes. Okay, the next colors again. This is transparent oxide and green. Not transparent oxide, oxide red light and green. I'm going to test it. I know it goes up in this ear, so this has some warmth in it. So put it in this top ear, so that will pop out of that coolness of the green here. The reason I didn't put it in first is because I knew it's going to jump out as like a sore thumb. So just by mixing in with a little bit of that alizarin stuff, it will give me so it won't jump out at me quite as much. But I was thinking, let me see. It kind of goes right in this spot right here. This is in the shadows. That pops out a little bit. Maybe try the green side a little bit more. Can't tell you.
Did you make that ear on the red side or the green side?
This is gonna be on the green side.
The ear? Yeah.
The ear. Oh, that's on the red side mostly. Mostly on the red side up here. It just hit a lot of the phthalo green that was in here, and coming through there a little bit. Okay. Let me try this color back in here. I was thinking back in here, there's a little bit of warmth right on the back edge here of this in the light. A lot of phthalo green, but then there's just a little bit of a warm patch there. So just on the red side of phthalo green and red. There you go. Probably just a hair of white into that color will probably be fine. I'm just going to soften these edges a little bit. And then come down in here. Almost right underneath where the shadow of the fence post is. That's the thing, is just getting that transition really tight between the two. Green, the phthalo green, and that's in the fence post and this oxide, so you can get a nice dark right here in his shoulder, which is really what you want. You want to get these darks in these crevices of where these shoulders are. And we can be a little ambiguous about exactly where they are, but definitely want to get them in here. Yeah, just that one went probably a little long. This one should come up a little bit more. All right. A lot of these darks probably aren't even going to show. Wow. back to the transparent or oxide red light, and I'm definitely gonna find some warmth right here in the middle of his lower part of his nose. Top part's gonna reflect a lot more sky. And that's probably what's gonna, we're gonna use that to, really do all the highlights on his nose. And let's start here and just start to get this little things on these darks around his eyes. I'm going to put a little bit more the red side of phthalo green and oxide, transparent oxide red, or oxide red light. Sorry, oxide red light. Use that right here behind its eye, that area where it connects over here. Just that warmth will help bring that eye and the face forward a little bit.
What color are you using for that, Jim? Is that the dark oxide red?
Yeah, oxide red with phthalo green in it, no white.
So
Basically,
is it the
right
green
here,
side or the
just
red side?
Yeah, the red side. And then underneath, maybe on the green side, underneath his eye patch right here, that little spot. Okay. On the red side, you're going to find in the shadow area underneath his halter here, this thing that you go on the red side of phthalo green and oxide there. Should have done his back leg too while I was there. Kind of forgot about did this part and I didn't do the rest. Probably going to find out I'm really off here. I'm going to go with the phthalo green, oxide red here too at the very bottom of the painting. Where his feet are. I'm going to try and lose a little bit of his feet, but let's get this dark in here. This is the shadow. It's kind of a warm shadow. It's phthalo green. It's not quite as dark as that, so just having a little bit of so it's going in a little oily. I'm going to keep it darker in the corner here, though. And even back in here, you might be able to use it. Just to mark background where that's going to go in. Yeah, got a way too big a head. Oh well. Okay, the next colors. This one with those are the phthalo colors. Now we go with the Lizards in blue. This is on the blue side. So one of the things about this, putting this color in, just trying to get it in this dark area. I'm looking right here underneath the fence post shadow and coming into his neck. There's just a little bit of richness. I want to try and get in here with that. Maybe even this shadow here. There's just this area right here in his chest. There's this like hole right in here. Feels like a hole almost coming down, and just that alizarin and blue. You see how that just takes you back, takes you into these areas really deep, where the phthalo and stuff kind of lays on top. So I'm going to use this also around this, just around in where I think his jaw is going to be. Just a little bit of alizarin and blue together, right into this area. It'll help push that jaw forward a little bit.
Are you on the red side now?
Yeah, I'm on the red side. You can't tell though. It's pretty much down the middle almost, seems like right now. I use the blue side on the shoulder here and up a little bit. You can barely see it. You can barely see it. I'm gonna put more blue on that one side right here too. I got a lot of phthalo going in here, but I want a little bit of blue. Play good together. And then more alizarin right in this side. Maybe right down in here, this ankle here too. A nice, real nice dark right there. Kind of help to start balancing off, you know, all this area here. Yeah, I'm a little short on the back. I probably went in a little too tight, a little tight on the painting. But that's one of the things I was thinking about. It could be just a nice portrait too. So gonna try and get a little more color in this chin here underneath his chin. There's that little divot, you know, right in the middle of that chin there. That little crease. All right. How are we doing? That's pretty good. I'm gonna put a little more alizarin and blue back in here too, just really thin, just in the shadows of the trees here that are going back in here and underneath. Just a little purple. And maybe even when I get to these colors, I'm gonna put a little purple too. This just didn't go very dark here. Darkest. I want to put a little more blue purple in this front edge of this thing, this shadow down in here. I'll be doing the other shadows in here with that too at the end. We'll see. Okay, that's kind of fun. Okay. I would also do his eye in this alizarin in blue. If you can do that, I mean, kind of, if you, it might be a little too soon to be perfect about it, but just that the eye itself looks like I'm a little low. Probably gonna need to go up about here. Nice to have a, I'd probably be nice to smarter to do with a smaller brush. That's okay. How are we doing here now? Good. Also, creases and stuff. This would be really probably good for the alizarin side, and there's some like a this crease here in his on his shoulder, or his where his leg is meeting the coming away from the body here. A little bit on the red side on the alizarin and stuff, right in that hole, right there, coming down. That's working out. Again, I'm just trying not to have too many strokes in here that are not needed. I want kind of real flat. I'm gonna put some alizarin too. I'm gonna put it right here on the edge, this top area too. So when you get this part done, this is, when you get this, you can really start to see the painting is already starting to show. A lot of these little colors in here probably will never show until you get close to it. But they should vibrate. They should be doing a pretty decent job. Okay. All right, let's get into the face. The rest of the time, pretty much going to be on the face. I'm still going to stay with my big brush just to get in some of these tones, before I dive into it. So we're turning some of these red oranges and stuff. Now we're going to get to some of this alizarin, cad red and blue. We're going to find those. Definitely want to fill in underneath fur, where you see that, where you think it's going to go. It's going to be thin. This is an underpainting, but from this edge over into above his eyebrow, definitely have some of this warm red, brown, underneath here. I can hear cheated a little bit. You're gonna find it in the ears too, but I just don't get there yet. In the middle here, I'm gonna just put in some of this red, probably just a little warmer. That was the mid-tone, but maybe just a little more on the cat red side than the blue. And now I'm just thinking about here. I'm thinking about underneath. I'm thinking about the direction of even in the shape here I'm putting in the direction of this where the stroke's going to go. So I'm not just like I'm going a little haphazard, but I'm still trying to stay knowing that which way the stroke's going to have to come, so it's not too that will work with it a little bit for the next stroke. I'm going to go with the real red side on this outside here. Right above the nose into the fur area after the fleshy part. Probably just a hair too big there. I think I'm made a nose just a hair too big. Let's push that back. Probably got to come in from this side, I think. Yeah, right there might be there's a hair too big in here. Yeah, it helped a lot already. Same thing here, just a touch there. Then I'll be able to use the background coloring to fix everything. All right. So I messed it up a little bit. I'm going to keep, like I said, on this side of his face, keeping a little warmer. I might go, instead of going with blue, I'm going to go with the oxide in yellow into this color. Into this side of his head. Oxide yellow by itself, just going in on top. It would go in this fur pretty nicely. Okay. I'm gonna look around here too. Just above these spots here. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm sorry, kind of jumped. I'm doing a face, but even when you're doing the face, make sure you got the color out. If it goes down there, put it down there. It's gonna just keep going. Gonna definitely get it in here, shoulder coming through here. This is the area right in here is where I was mentioning too at the beginning. Keeping it, don't let it get too light back in here, but it's going to a little bit. Got to get some light back there. Well, if I can get a lot of it done with color instead of adding white, that's what I'm trying to do. making sure that these all these shadows and stuff, that post, it stands out, but it doesn't jump out. Okay. With that being done, I won't be needing this again for till I do my big brush. I won't be needing that till I have to, do the background, fill in the background. Now I'm going to go to a bristle brush and we'll jump in that face. This should jump pretty quickly. I'm going to use a big bristle brush. And basically we haven't used any of our medium colors. We've got a few spots that are only going to need a few lights. Most of the lights are in his face and back and underneath here. So this stuff underneath here, I'm not too worried about. So we're just going to concentrate on his face. I'm going to look for like a great medium tone to go start with. And that would be probably the oxide red, transparent oxide red, mixed with just a little bit of yellow. It's some kind of an orange. And it's a medium with just a little bit of white in it. We just got done using it. I just put a little bit into his face here and up here. I'm going to warm up with it up here in the hair and stuff. I almost got the great stroke for it right in here. And see how it works here. It seems a little cool. It looks like it could go just a little warmer. I mean, it's just a little yellow to my color. Try it again. Yeah, much better. Okay. So that goes right in here, starts to do that hair area here. Oh, we all know how important hair is. So just seeing it, how it everything kind of pulls in right here to the middle of his head, forehead, and the outsides. It's just getting a little bit of color in there, just not trying to push it yet. I'm trying to also, again, using a very kind of a soft stroke. So I'm not trying to blend too much with what's already there. Just trying to save some room for all the other colors to get in here. So coming in, you can start to see from his eye coming down these strokes. Coming in down this way, his hair and stuff from the middle here. Going back to the middle. Okay. Just touching those things, not trying to wipe out my darks everywhere. They're going to get wiped out, but I'm just why I put them in a little darker than they needed to be. This color, whoops, kind of lost it. In the shadow areas and stuff, just getting a little bit of that red back into these greens. Seeing how we can keep those guys together. Kind of lost my green right there on the outsides here. Okay.
What color did you just use?
That color was oxide, transparent oxide with yellow with white. And basically I just did a little bit of a kind of a warm up. You know, I found it's going to be up here in his hair more than anywhere else, you know, but then just trying to get start to, you know, get the directional strokes in, start to get for my next strokes, I can follow it because everything's just going to take up a little bit less room each time.
Okay.
And that should carve it out pretty quickly. Some areas here underneath the eye. Okay. I was just starting to go into these lower parts, chin. I'm going to go back and try some. This is cad red and blue with white in it for these underneath here a little bit in these shadow areas right here. This is on the red side of it. And I should be able to get and then here's the real red side of it. Okay. Let's be just a little warmer. Cad red and blue. And that. Also look for it underneath in here. Like I said, nice thing about a bristle, like I said, it just never kind of, if you do it lightly, pull it across, it will just mix, do a nice mix without too much blending. This is oxide red and blue. This is on the blue side going up here. This is the red on the bottom. On the red side, a little bit right in here. And that light area. I'm going to do it up here too, going upward a little bit. And this is all the light that these guys get right here. This is just using the 7 value of oxide or transparent, no, oxide red. No, this is a cad red light, blue, and using those guys here. Found the felt like a little more red or blue in the front and red in the back for some reason. Then it kind of goes to a green and some other colors back there. But that's about it right there for those guys. That's about all it's going to get. I'm gonna use the mid-tone. I'm gonna use cat red and blue. Right down the kind of more on just on the red side. And I'm just gonna do his inside of his ear here. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a nice trunk. Keeping it flat and then just flicking it at the end to get the fur area coming through. That's it. Came close. Probably use the blue side, I think, for his leaving like for his, like I said, putting in those guys at the end. You know, this flick there. Okay. Last part here with his face. You know, trying to see if we got the drawing about right. I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller synthetic. I want to put in his nose a little bit. Make sure I get it in there nice and dark. I'm going to put it in with a alizarin and blue. Just on a little bit on the red side. Nice thing is we only have one nostril to do. Since I got that dark and stuff too, I can start to look at, you know, that right here in his lip and stuff, get that a little bit darker too, right by the edge. A little warmth as you get to the outsides and stuff, maybe warm it up with just a little bit more on the CAD side. That color. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Got my synthetic out and I have those colors. I'm going to try and get back his corner of his eye here. And how it comes down and into that. One part of his eye up. What is it called? Tear duct area. And I'm just going to go in here and straighten out a few things. This is used a big brush, so I kind of lost a little bit of the shape of underneath his eye here. I want to get those guys back in before I go to my final little twist on that thing. I think it just missed a little bit of bottom of his eye. Just goes a little lower. Crap. Then I'll come back in with a highlight for whites of his eyes. Get that in. With just a little bit of warmth there too. I did his nose here. There's just a little bit of light you can see through there. But I want to go to a different brush and start putting in some of the fur. Getting into his, the lighter stuff now. I want to get that dark back in there before I got in this stuff. So, lighter colors. I'm going to go with, let me try this. This is a little bit off. It's a little, not quite as orangey as the last color. This is the oxide, transparent oxide with just blue in it with white. And I was thinking it might get in here a little bit because it's a little bit cooler. And I'm going to start with it up top and put it where I think the lightest areas are first, the ridges. Come down here on this area here.
What color is that now, Jim?
This is oxide, transparent oxide with blue. It's on the way on the oxide side with a lot of white. It always is going to look a little, when you start putting in these lights, it's always going to look a little bit strong at the first stroke, but it will calm down when you start getting more in. And these strokes are also not pushed very hard. I'm not barely opening. I'm basically just opening up the brush tip and letting the paint come out, flow. So it's kind of a very light touch, trying to let the brush do all the work. This is getting closer to my lights, all my lights. So I see I'm just everything kind of how everything's kind of going right around. The eye here. I mean, how things are starting to circle. Just a little red in that area. Okay, his brow here line. Getting there. Probably could have made up a few more colors along these lights. I'm going to go add just a little bit of the cad yellow side of this oxide and cad yellow to this mix for these areas up top here, just to warm them up in the mid section of the shapes. That color was it's very cool. So just a little warming of it doesn't take much. Okay, I'm going to get around his eye here.
very much a downstroke. Trying to get the edge of the brush in that little well there, and then coming straight down it with an arc. And then for the side here, it's going to come in from the back side and just, you know, and one more up here too. This has gotten needs a little paint right in there. Oh, it's starting to live. Oh, it's coming. Get rid of this too. Pretty much seems like a lot of the top of the head here. From the nose to the nostrils. You know, has a little bit of more warmth in it. Okay. That being said, let me put this in. Now it's going to put something in like I mean it. That's where I would like to come in with these areas, like right above the nose, right where the head is. You know, this area here, right below the holster. You know, and just really get that shape without the holster, but just put it in with a gob of paint. I'm using again the transparent oxide with a touch of blue in it with a lot of white. This is probably the lightest version I made of it. Pretty much took all of it. I just want to get this little triangle above his nose here. I want to try and just get it in there and just twist my brush and lay it in with one stroke if I can, and then come back and get the rest of it. There's a little more dippy right here in the nose. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'll come back and just get a little more of the lights on the insides. Everything's starting to get a little bit smaller every time I take a stroke. I'm going to go a little more yellow white. This is my yellow white, my brighter colors. I'm going to bring that back in now. This is oxide, transparent oxide with yellow with a lot of white in it. Yeah, a lot of yellow, a lot of white. Well, it's my brightest colors. And it's going on top. And it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be everywhere. It's just going to go in a few spots. Right there. Yeah, what's on? Okay, I'm going to put in his highlight whites in his eyes, but they're not white. I'm not going to put them in white. I'm going to put them in probably more of a 2 stages. Blue on one side and then a little warmer on the bottom of that highlight. Basically, it's got a little small arc. So the warmth is going to be on the bottom. I'm going to put a
basically sky. Let me try the sky. This is the sky color up here. I'm gonna put up here. I'm gonna use that for his highlight against all these darks. And I'm just gonna put it on the inside of his eye, just the vertical part of it, the little shape. Just a little bit. And then on the bottom part, I'll come back with a kind of a, just a hair orange white. Not very bright. This is still same value. It's very, I don't see it. It's gonna, because it's round here, and I'm just gonna drop it in at the bottom of his eyelid. Right there, just a touch of oil to make sure it goes in right. Would have been nice to have that clean. Anyway, this back edge is going a little long. Whoops. Well, now I got to go back and put it in clean. So if I'm going to put it in clean, I'm going to put it in with a knife. I'm just going to go in darker, lighter than the color I put in, and darker. I mean, brighter. So. Okay. Almost too bright, as you can tell. That was with an orange, so let's dull that down, drop it back. Here. There we go. All right. I'm going to drop down to a brush and get the smaller brush and do the tips of his nose, start getting the blues into them. And we'll talk about putting blues in around. We're almost done anyway. So this is that dark sky I put up here. I'm going to put up there. I'm just going to run around his nose a little bit on the edge here. I put it in with a bristle. It's not going to be quite as strong. Yes, a little lighter. I'm going to come down here a little bit. Just a little brighter in the highlights. Nose. That's too bright. Hit it again. It'll darken it down. Probably still too bright. One more time, touch it. This last light color I'm putting in here into his neck and stuff. This is oxide. This is blue and transparent oxide mixed together. And I'm putting it in right in these areas here. Sorry, running a little late here. We got a long ways on this one, so I wanted to take it up, keep it going a little bit. But I'm going to stop here. I'm going to just throw a little bit of blue sky behind him. Just a few spots here. So you can start to see where it goes. This is goes a little darker up here to that color. This is it with a little bit of white. When I get to the hair like this, I'm going to push against it like that, soften the edge, clean my brush, grab more paint. And just darken in this area up top. Keep it kind of blocky and stuff too. Not gonna be real smooth. I'm gonna keep it kind of chunky brush work. Just want to get rid of all the light. All right. This will also help me if I do like a digital check or anything like that. I can check and see how I think I'm doing here. Because all these colors are going to start popping on this guy when I start to get in here. All these colors in here are just going to start going, ooh. Then really all I have to do is the halter there a little bit. Let's see. Get a little dirty here, grab the paint. Going into the tree areas, and that'll be about it. Fun though. That's what I was looking for, something fun. Need something fun to paint. It was just a bad week, right? So let's see how this does. I'll bring you in. You guys show me yours. There's only a few of us, so I figure I could paint for a few more minutes. But I'll just keep the dark blue going on up here. Then I'll mix the two right in here. Then put the ear back in. And of course, his eye needs a little bit more work because I fudged it up a little bit, but not too much. I don't want to be at all about that. But here, let me bring it in a little bit closer. Let's see a little bit of what I'm doing. A little burned out up there. Sorry about that. But anyway. Fun. Daddy takes the T-bird away. Okay, let's see what you guys have done. Got Cindy and Trish and Sarah today. So let's see who's going to turn theirs on. Okay, there's Sarah jumped up in front of everybody. There you go, Sarah.
Cool.
Ooh, solid girl. Fun. What do you think?
I like it.
You did a great job on the shadow. That's a great looking heavy duty shadow. That's really way to put that in there like you mean it and dark.
good job. A lot of fun stuff going on in his face and the lights and whites. Okay, take it easy on the shadows underneath. I mean, not the shadows, but don't put too much more work in the shadows underneath his side of his face and jaw. You know, because that'll just turn to mud too quick. But I think it's right there. I don't think you have much, too much more to do. Work on the, finish up the nose. You did start working on the nose, okay, and then the hair on top a little bit. I love it. Love his what's going up there. That's gonna be fun. He got a nice fun stuff. And when you put that blue in, all of a sudden that thing just starts to glow a little bit more. All those colors in the face start to show up. So put that in there, and then finish up his legs and put in the background. Let's see what you got. A really great start. Fabulous. Really great.
Thank
Good.
you.
You're welcome. Really way to keep up too.
Thank you.
All right. Cindy jumped up. Cindy. Hey, girl.
How you doing? I think I have a bulldog, but whatever.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Good job about putting some of those colors in there. I love the greens in his face are showing up kind of fun. The worms in there against the oranges. That's really good to go for. Let's see. About his reason he doesn't look like a bulldog at all. Does not. You did a great job drawing.
This chin is a little too long. I was trying to take some of it off, but I see it's probably still too long. I guess I get thrown by, I must have drawn in the halter and maybe.
Yeah, you probably grabbed that. Yeah. Don't worry about that. I mean, I think you can fix a lot of that stuff with the background stuff. You can really I think that's where, you'll dig it out there. And watch watch where his neck and his jaw and stuff, that little light in the shadows area. Make sure it doesn't get too bright. Yeah, that spot. Yeah, don't let it get too bright. You can drop it down a couple of degrees.
That doesn't seem right there. I think I gotta look at that again. Looks like jaw goes.
It's part of the neck. It's part of the neck. It goes into the neck, and stuff too.
Okay.
Whenever you see you got those beautiful. Oh, let me see. Turn that up a little bit. Okay. Good job on the head too. I mean, you got the fur going in the right directions. You got a little bit lighter spots there. Good job. And his nose is looking good. You're probably gonna, put in the background, put in some of the blues back there and see what you got. Good job on your shadow too. Way to keep it dark. That's always the thing, is trying to not play too much. Keep it nice and graphic like that. Nice, big, strong, dark. Just jumps out at you. Pushes that head just so fast at you. Otherwise, I think you're getting there. You're getting there really quick.
It's fun, but I got a lot of work to do yet.
Yeah, there's, they got some drawing errors in it, but you got some really good paint ideas going in there too, I think.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go, Trish. Hey, Trish.
There we go. It's more of a blocky, and then I got lost in the colors and it got muddy, and so I started listening. And
no worries. You're supposed to get lost. You don't have to paint it with me very much.
No.
So you're definitely going to get lost at the beginning, and especially those mixes. Don't worry about them. You'll get them really quick. They just always, the first ones are tough to do. Even keeping up like this is really fun. Now,
I learned a lot, but I just couldn't. I didn't keep up, and I got muddy, so I just thought to do better to listen. I'm gonna listen to you again and try to work on it some.
No worries. Did you mean for his head to go all the way to the edge?
Well, my drawing was off, so
I'm just asking because it's kind of.
I didn't.
It has some charm to it, even going off that edge, hitting that edge. Problem is when you put a frame on, if you ever did put a frame on it, you'd probably have to put a floater frame on it, because you couldn't lose any more of his face behind the edge of a frame. That's okay. I think that's why they have them. they'll take care of it in the Louvre for you. But
Yeah.
I just painting them back tight, really kind of fun though. It really shows off his head, forces you to look at his head, because you're telling everybody, come here. Your darks are really good. Your darks, you put them in there nice and strong, and that was really great. You left them alone, and that's the thing, is leaving things alone. The good, you put in the sky really quickly, nice, and just a little more dark shadows in the face. You're just missing all this shadow in the face that was going to give it structure,
I
But
did.
that's okay. You're in, what do you want for a couple hours of painting?
And no, I don't, yeah, this is new for me. I usually paint landscape, so I'm loving this, trying to learn how to do it differently. But I work on it. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen to it again with the video and try to work on it some
Okay.
more.
All
Enjoyed
right,
it.
no problem, Trish. Hey, thanks for coming.
Okay.
All right, let's go back. That was it. I mean, we had a small group today because who knows what things life takes over. Anyway, next week we are on to something else. It's going to be probably more of a landscape, maybe a smaller animal in it type thing. I'm not sure. Could be water, could be not. Maybe a duck or swan, something, fish. It could be. I don't know yet. Just throwing it out there. Anything you guys say? You guys are interested in? Let me know.
That sounds
And-
good, whatever you just said.
I threw out a smorgasbord. You said,
I like it.
okay. All right. No worries. It's a good idea. We'll jump on it. Hey, you guys have a great weekend, rest of your weekend. Finish these up, put them up on the site, and I'll give you another critique and stuff. You'll get a lot of info from everybody else saying stuff. So, put them up on our Facebook site, and we'll be good, right?
Right. Thanks, Jim. It was
No
fun.
worries. Thank you, Cindy and Trish and Sarah. We will see you all next week.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Have a
You
good
too.
week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.